Welcome back guys to another video. So in today's video we're going to be looking at addition and subtraction. So we're going to start off with the more easy questions and then we're going to work our way to the more advanced and more complicated difficult questions. So this is for both foundation and higher. It could come up on both GCSE Maths exam. So if you want to get at least a grade 9, you should be perfect in this topic, as this is the foundation of maths. Okay, if you do not know how to add and subtract simple numbers, then how are you supposed to do the more complex topics? Okay, so make sure to watch the whole video. If you want to have access to this worksheet, I'll leave the link in the description. You can get it for absolutely free. So let's get on with the video. So we have our first question. We have to work out 356 plus 57. Now, when we are doing addition and subtraction, you would normally use your column method if they are big numbers. Now, if they are small numbers, you can do mental maths. That's not any problem. But we're going to be doing more complex numbers, so we're going to be using column method most of the time. So we have to work out 356, and we are adding 57. Now, the number one rule is you have to align all of your numbers. So you do the units, the tens, and the hundreds. Make sure to align them up. Then we'll do our two lines like this. We're going to do 6 plus 7. That's going to give us a 13. So we're going to get our 3 over here, and we're going to carry the 1. That's going to give us 13. Then we're going to do 5 plus 5. That's going to give us a 10. Add the carried 1. That's going to give us an 11. So we're going to put 11 over here. So 11. Then we do 3, add the carried 1, that's going to give us a 4. That means it's going to be 413, and that's going to be our answer. Then question number 2, work out 1256 plus 356. So again, we're going to write our numbers. So 1256 plus 356. We're going to add them up together. So 6 plus 6 is going to give us a 12. So we're going to do 2 over here and 1 over here. Now remember, some people put your carried number somewhere like over here instead, okay? You can totally do that as well. It's just on personal preference where you want to put your carried number. But I always like putting it at the bottom. Now remember, if you're doing multiplication, then it'll be more trickier to put it at the bottom. But it's just on personal preference. You can watch out my multiplication video as well. I'll leave the link in the description. So over here, once you've done that, you're going to do 5 plus 5, add the 1. That's going to give you an 11. Then 2 plus 3 is going to be a 5. Plus a 1, that's going to give you a 6. Finally, 1 plus 0, nothing basically. 1 plus nothing is going to give us 1. The answer is going to be 1612. Cool. Then finally, a subtraction question, we have to work out 3695 minus 1958. So again, we're going to do our numbers. So 3695 minus 1958. Now remember to align your units, hundreds, tens, and thousands column, obviously. Otherwise, you will get the question wrong. Now for subtraction, your top number has to be bigger than your bottom number in order for you to do it correctly. So remember, we're doing 5 minus 8. 5 is smaller than the 8, therefore you cannot do it properly. Therefore, you have to borrow a 1 from your neighbor. So the next one. So next door to the 5, we have a 9. So we're going to cross this out. We're going to borrow a 1. So if you borrow a 1, it's going to turn into an 8. And we're going to put a 1 over here. You borrowed a 1 from your next door neighbor. That means it's going to be 15 minus 8. So that 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 8, you can do that. That's going to give us a 7. Then we're going to do 8 minus 5. So you ignore this 9 anymore. The 9 does not exist anymore. You do 8 minus 5. That's going to give you a 3. Then as you can see, again, we have 6 minus 9. 6 is smaller than the 9. So what we have to do, we have to borrow from our next door neighbor. So we're going to borrow a 1. We always borrow a 1. You never ever borrow a 2, 3, 4. It's always a 1. So borrow a 1. You do 16 minus 9. That's going to give us a 7. And 2 minus 1, that's going to give you a 1. So our answer is going to be 1737. So we are now going to be moving on to 3-digit addition. Now for this specifically, what you can do the first two numbers, add them up separately, and add the last number separately. But for this video, I'm going to do them all together in one column. Cool. So we're going to do 13,650 like this. And then we're going to have 3,652 aligning our numbers in the correct space, correct column. And then we're going to have 362. Okay, so then we're going to add all of this up like this. Okay, so first, we're going to do 0 plus 2 plus 2. That's going to give us a 4. Then we're going to do 5 plus 5 is going to be a 10. Add the 6, going to give us 16. So we're going to have 6 over here. We're going to carry the 1. And then we're going to have 6 plus 6 going to give us a 12. Add the 3, that's going to give us 15. Add another 1, that's going to give us 16. Then once you have done that, we're going to have to carry the 1. 3 plus 3 is 6. Add the 1, that's going to give us a 7. And then 1 plus nothing is going to give us a 1. So our final answer is going to be 17,664. Cool. Now, question number 5, we have to work out 63.5 minus 23.2. So now we're going to get into some decimal addition and some decimal subtraction. So let's work out some decimal subtraction first. Now, when you're using the column method for decimals, you want to align your decimals properly. So align them in a straight line. So we're going to have 63.5 first. So 63.5. Now, for our next number, we have 23.2. You're going to align decimal place. It's going to be 23.2 like this. Always align your decimal place. Then it's going to be a subtract over here. And remember to put a decimal place over here as well. Then we're going to do a normal subtraction as always. So 5 minus 2 is going to give us a 3. 3 minus 3 is going to give us a 0. And then 6 minus 2 is going to give us a 4. So our answer is going to be 40.3. Then question number 6. Work out 96.98 minus 35.63. Again, same thing. Put your numbers in 96.98 minus 35.62. The important thing is to align decimal place. That is the only mistake people make with decimals. Always make sure you are aligning your decimals when you're using the column method. Okay, so just like that. Then we're going to do 8 minus 3. That's going to give us a 5. 9 minus 6 is going to give us a 3. Remember to put your decimal place over there. 6 minus 5 is going to give us a 1. And 9 minus 3 is going to give us a 6. So it's going to be 61.35. Cool. Let's move on to our next question. Now we're going to do 3-digit decimal addition. So it's a mixture of integers and decimals. So over here we have 15.2. And then we have 36, and then we have 17.3. Now, for this specifically, we can just imagine that there's a 0.0 at the end because 36.0 is the same as saying 36. And remember, we're just adding everything up. So I'm just going to do that in one go, like this. When the 2 plus 0 is 2, sorry. Add the 3 is going to give us a 5. Put this one point over there. 5 plus 6 is going to give us 11. Add the 7 is going to give us an 18. Carry the 1 over there. 1 plus 3 is going to give us a 4. Add the 1 is going to give us a 5. Then add another 1 is going to give us a 6. So we're going to have 68.5. Okay, well done. Finally, we're going to do another one. Now, this is going to be a mixture, addition, and subtraction. Now, this is when it gets a bit more complicated. What we're basically going to have to do, since they are both separate symbols, we cannot do it in one go, in like one column method. So what we're going to do is that first we're going to do 63.1 plus 19.2 separately, and then whatever answer we get, we are then going to minus 27.3. Does that make sense? Do 63.1 plus 19.2 first. Whatever answer you get, do another column method, and do 27.3 subtract 27.3. So let's do that first. So we're going to do 63.1 plus 19.2. Same rules apply. Align your decimal places. Then like this. Put decimal place there. 1 plus 2 is going to give us a 3. 3 plus 9 is going to give us a 12. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Add the 1 is going to give us an 8. So the answer to this specific calculation, we got 82.3. Then we need to minus 27.3. So we're going to do 82.3 minus 27.3. Then we're going to put a decimal place over here, just like that. Then we do 3 minus 3, that's going to give us a 0. Now 2 minus 7, we cannot do that because 2 is less than a 7. We have to borrow a 1, so that's going to become a 7. Borrow a 1, so that becomes a 12. So do 12 minus 7, that's going to be a 5. And 7 minus 2 is going to give us 5. So we get 55.0. So that means going to be 55. So that is going to be your answer. Cool. Moving on to our next question, that becomes a bit more complicated now. We're doing 4 decimals, and we're doing mixture of addition and subtraction. So what we're going to first have to do, we're going to first of all do 63.2 plus 96.3. Once you have done that, we are then going to minus 27.8 from our answer. And then we are going to minus 36.2 again from our answer. Does that make sense? Good. So 62. Let's do the addition first. So we're doing 63.2 plus 96.3. So over here, 2 plus 3 is going to give us a 5. 3 plus 6 is going to give us a 9. And 9 plus 6 is going to give us a 15. Then we have 159.5. Now remember, since this is going to be our last column, the last calculation we do in the column method, the carry, we don't put it at the bottom or at the top. We put it next to our last digit. It's going to be 159.5. So you don't put it over here. You don't put the one over down over here. It's just going to be up next to that 5. So 159.5. Then once you have done that, we're then going to minus 27.8. So it's going to be 159. So sorry for that. Put that there. So we're going to do 159.5 minus 27.8. Okay. Now put a decimal place there like that. 5 minus 8. Sorry, we cannot do that. So we have to borrow a 1. 15 minus 8 is going to give us a 7. 8 minus 7 is going to give us 1. 5 minus 2 is going to give us a 3. And 1 minus 0 is going to give us a 1. So lastly, we have one more calculation to do. We have to minus 36.2 from our answer. So over here, we're going to have to do 131.7 minus again a 36.2. Okay. Now 7 minus 2 is going to be a 5. 1 minus 6, we have to borrow another 1. So it's going to be 11 minus 6, going to give us a 5. 2 minus 3, we cannot do that. We have to borrow a 1 from here. So that 1 becomes a 0. Then it's going to be 12 minus 3, that's going to be a 9. And that 0 minus nothing is going to give us a 0. That means our final answer is going to be 95.5. Well done. That's going to be a 4-digit addition and subtraction of decimals. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but with more complex numbers, and we're also going to get to some negatives as well. So make sure to watch to the end of this video. So we have to work out 36.9 minus 92.3 plus 69.3 plus 87.9. So the first calculation we need to do is this 36.9 minus 92.3. Then we're going to have to plus 69.3 to our answer. And then you have to add another 87.9 to our answer. Now you may have noticed that this number over here, 36.9, is actually less than 92.3. So how can we actually subtract it? We can subtract it, but we will get a negative number. Now the trick with this, with a column method, is that we just do the bigger number. So the biggest number, we have 92.3, that's a big number, minus a small number, which is 36.9 in that specific calculation. So you do the big number minus a small number, and whatever answer you would get, the answer is going to be positive, right? Whatever answer you get, it should be positive. You just add a negative sign in front of it. And that's going to be 36.9 minus 92.3. That's going to be the trick with the column method. So let's do that. So let's do 92.3 minus 36.9. Okay? 3 minus 9, we cannot do that. So we're going to have to borrow a 1. So over here, borrow a 1. 13 minus 9, that's going to give us a 4. Then, again, we have to borrow another 1. That makes 11. So 11 minus 6 is going to give us a 5. And then 8 minus 3, that's going to give us a 5. So that's going to be 55.4. Now remember, we have to add a minus in front of it. That's going to be minus 55.4. So the answer to this calculation is minus 55.4. Then we have to add 69.3. So effectively, we are adding 69.3 to this answer. Now we can do this. We could do a negative plus a positive. Now we can rewrite this equation. Same thing. We can rewrite this as 69.3 minus 55.4. If you flip these numbers, put the 69.3 first and the minus 55.4 after, you get this. They are both equal to each other to get the same answer. So we're going to do 69.3 minus 55.4 in our column method. So 3 minus 4, we cannot do that. We have to borrow a 1. So over here, 13 minus 4, we get a 9. And then 8 minus 5, we get a 3. And 6 minus 5, we get 1. So we have 13.9. And then lastly, we have to do 13.9 plus 87.9. Add them up. So over here, we get 9 plus 9, which is 18. 3 plus 7, we get 10. Add a 1, that gives you 11. And then we do 1 plus 8, which is 9. Add another 1, we get 10. So our final answer is 101.8. Okay, 101.8. Now we have question number 11. Same thing again. Addition and subtraction and addition. So first things first, again, we're going to have to do 52.1 minus 36.2. Now in this question, we are doing the bigger number minus smaller number. So we do not have to have a negative in this one. Then we need to add 72.3. And then we have to minus 2.1. Okay. So let's do 52. So over here, 52.1 minus 36.2. So we're going to do 1 minus 2. So you have to borrow a 1. 11 minus 2, that's going to give us a 9. Again, you have to borrow another 1. So it makes 11. 11 minus 6 is going to give us a 5. 4 minus 3, that's going to give us a 1. So we get 15.9 for that calculation. Then we're going to have to do 15.9. 15.9 plus 72.3. Okay, so like this. So do 9 plus 3, that's going to give us a 12. 5 plus 2, which is 7. Add a 1, that's going to give us an 8. And then 1 plus 7, that's going to give us 8. So you get 88.2 for that calculation. And then finally, we have to minus 2.1. So you have to do 88.2 minus 2.1. Like this. And you do 2 minus 1, that's going to give us a 1. 8 minus 2, that's going to give us 6. And 8 minus nothing, that's going to give us 8. So we get 86.1. Now for this last one, you guys are going to do this question. Leave your answers down below in the comments and share me the answer, and I will tell you if you are correct or not correct. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you learned something new. I hope you guys are now a master at addition and subtraction, and do not forget to watch my other videos on GCSE Maths Higher and Foundation Topics walkthrough. I'll see you guys in my next video.